It's April 17th, 2014. Current time is 10:46 GMT. Jay Misley here with the Daily Forex Trading Outlook. It is a day before the long Easter break. Even U.S. stock markets are closed tomorrow, although banks are technically open in the U.S. Abroad, most centers are closed on Friday and many on Monday as well. So, as I said at the beginning of the week, this is not one where you usually see big bets being made, and the choppy price action and limited follow through is bearing that out. If you look at the market today, sterling made a attempted breakout above 168.20. It's currently back below it. 168 figure to 20 is kind of a no man's land, and below 168 would be needed to neutralize the risk, while above 168.20, if it ever became support, then it would argue for a run at 168.50 to 170. Euro dollar again confounds by squeezing the shorts, and I'll show you in a second how the debate is what is the real gap in the euro dollar, and I will explain that. For today, we have a light economic calendar. We do have U.S. jobless claims, which we watched after a sharp drop last week, but dovish comments by Yellen yesterday has put a little pressure on the dollar, and kind of taken some of the bloom off data, which is going to be the key going forward through the rest of this year as the market debates whether the Fed is going to have to tighten sooner or later than market expectations, which are about the midpoint of 2015. Let's look quickly at the charts. As if you look at the euro dollar here on a daily chart, key level is 139 on the downside, 136.73 or 70ish level on the on the downside, 139 on the upside. Major level is 139.67. Still can make a case that the high for the year is in, but while we're trading within 138 to 139, watch 138.50. It has tendency to become a magnet, and as such will dictate the tone. We ran some stops overnight. The high around 138.64 or so would be the next level for stops, but really betting on follow through seems to be the longest shot bet in this kind of market, where position adjustments at a long week are going to dominate more than anybody making a big bet. It's hard to see big bets being made today. We also have the Putin U.S. Ukraine meeting in Geneva, and with the other parties as well, and that is a key event risk in a thin market. Basically has low expectations for it, so we'll see what happens. But you're going to have to watch the headlines coming out of that meeting. It's very, could be important in a thin market. Now, as usual, watch stocks. That affects the risk sentiment, and we'll look further. Here's what I said about the euro dollar gap. If you look here on the 4-hour chart, now you can make the gap a case for the gap being against the Friday close. I think it's around 136.8ish, 138.80 or so. But if you look on a 4-hour chart, it came in around 138.61. We gapped open lower on Monday. We came back, filled that gap, came down here, and we came back really to that gap again. So it really depends on what you call the gap. Is the gap to here? Is the gap to here? If it's to here, then you have to get to around 138.80. I've been using the 60 level or so, and we came right back to it. Similarly, on the 1-hour chart, you can look at the same thing. If you want to call this the gap, or you want to call this the gap. If you call this the gap, then it's 138.80 has to be filled. So 136.60 to 80 is kind of a no man's land. Only above 136.880, we'll put 139 in play again. So I said we got to 138.64, so we backed off. And that's it for today. It's not a day, I said, of big bets. Just keep your play it close to the vest. Watch for headlines out of Geneva, and and don't expect follow through, but just be wary that if there are stops to run, the market will go after them. But it's not a day I have big expectations for. So basically, in Euro dollar, it's probably 138.20 to 80 at the moment. In dollar yen, it looks like maybe 101, maybe 80.20 might be the range, but you could make a case for 101.50 to 102.50, and if that's the case, then 102.50 is close to the 20-day moving average, then 102 is going to set the tone. One more last thing, if you look at the bottom of this page, you'll see a link to a very, very important article, how to avoid the Forex death spiral. If you are trading Forex and you want to survive in this market, it's an article you should read. So the link is embedded, click on it. Good luck, good trading. As I said, click on the link here. It's embedded in the video, and next video probably be on Monday. So good luck again. Have a good holiday for those celebrating it.